Well, I'm so grateful. We've literally had, at last count, nearly 20,000 businesses have downloaded the checklist for what is COVID safe. And we know that that doesn't happen in other states or other places around the world. So every time a new business or a new organisation is opening up, we're making sure that's COVID safe. That's based on health advice. And that means we can actually be sustainable. It means we have a greater chance of not having to shut anything back down if there's a spike. It means we have a greater chance of having a steady state when we get to it about what is a safe way for all of us to live until there's a cure or a vaccine. And so the science, the data is telling us, because we have lots of inputs about activity. So activity in the community is increasing quite substantially. However, the number of cases presented are not, which is a good thing. And so long as that continues, we can continue to ease restrictions. But again, it relies heavily on people coming forward and getting tested. If people don't come forward and get tested, we don't have that confidence that we're in control of the community-to-community transmission that may exist. I know that many health experts are concerned that some people may still be walking around in the community who have the virus and don't know it. And that's why anyone with the mildest symptoms coming forward tells us to what extent, if any, there is that community transmission. And we also have to remember that in New South Wales, whilst our case numbers are zero to negligible in terms of the community transmission, we are still welcoming hundreds of Australians back to Australia through Sydney every single day. And we have had cases in quarantine, but we also need to remember that we still have 300 active cases in New South Wales because we had so many cases earlier on in March and April. We still have around 300 active cases in New South Wales, whereas somewhere like New Zealand doesn't have any, for example. No, not at all. I'm someone who respects his position, and he's known for speaking his mind, so that's normal. 100%. No, I think, look, he's expressing his views on these matters, but what we need to do as a state, and our success has been demonstrated on the fact that we've taken the health advice, but we've also pushed ourselves to see how well we can do together, and that's what I'm incredibly proud of. And look, that's his view, and he's free to express them. But I, as the leader of this state, as the Premier, I bear huge responsibility to make sure that we ease restrictions, but we keep the community safe. I don't take that responsibility lightly, and I appreciate some people have different views as to how fast we should go. New South Wales is moving the fastest out of all the states, even though we had the highest number of cases. We're very keen to get jobs back into the community, but we're also keen to make sure it's sustainable, it's long-lasting, and that's why we will make sure we continue to take the advice of health experts. And can I say this, if our health experts in New South Wales hadn't started testing and contact tracing from around Australia Day, we wouldn't be in the strong position we are. I mean, I will always be grateful for those health experts. And I remember we started social distancing in New South Wales before anybody else was even talking about it. And I'm extremely proud of that. That is what has helped sustain the success that we have had to date. And we need that to continue. And I want to thank the vast, vast majority of our citizens that have done the right thing, that want to stick by the rules. Please know that we're working as hard as we can because you've worked hard to bring you relief, and please know that the rolling easing of restrictions will continue so long as all of us stick together.
But given there is frustration, especially with these protests, and businesses are really frustrated, isn't that helpful that the Deputy Premier is going out against what you're trying to say?
No, I think people are free to express their views, but I, as the Premier, bear enormous responsibility in making sure we continue to have those jobs created in New South Wales. I'm proud of the fact that we were the first state to shut down. I came out, and I remember I was criticised at the time for speaking up and saying we had to shut down. I'm glad I did. Absolutely no regrets. I'm glad I did when I did. And now we're the first state that is coming out of this as quickly as possible as far as our jobs and our business community is concerned. And I want to thank those tens of thousands of businesses that have already responded positively, acting in a COVID-safe way, ticking off the checklist. I appreciate that there are some sectors of the community that remain frustrated, but please know that imminently you will feel far less frustrated.
Is there any reason why funerals shouldn't be immediately doubled to cater to 100 people, particularly if after this week an incubation period from that protest last week?
Well, that's why I'm saying, please note that further decisions and announcements, decisions have been made, further announcements are imminent in relation to many of the issues that are being raised. I will say that. But I also say we cannot afford to disregard the health advice. Please know that. And please know dealing in a pandemic is not an exact science. It never was, it never will be. It is not perfect. But please know that the results speak for themselves, and I want these results to continue. I want us not only to be a state where we've done so well on the health side, but also that we do well on the job side. And we're getting those jobs back as soon as we can. Today's announcement is a classic example, but going up to 50 immediately in relation to our hospitality industry was a big step for us, given where we were and where we are today. I'm incredibly proud of the fact that we're really easing restrictions in a responsible way, and I want to assure everybody with the issues that have been raised that your frustrations will be eased in the very near future. I want to thank everybody for your patience. I mean, all of us have endured a lot of difficult times in the last few months. Personally, I've had extended family members that have suffered loss and had to have a funeral with only 10 people at that time. So I appreciate what that means for people. I appreciate what that means for everybody. And please know that relief is imminent. The restrictions will be further eased imminently, but we can never, ever disregard the health advice, because that's when we fail.